Yeah, you're welcome to News Review, brought to you by Wisdom Television. I am M.K.O Abiola, and in the studio with me, I have Mufin Folua, and we're doing this together. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio today.
It's my pleasure.
And to our Muslim brothers and sisters, like yesterday we reported that Ramadan is just at the door, it's knocking.
Yeah.
And for the fact that the Sultan even told us that by today, we should watch out for the crescent moon. Once it is sighted, by bam, Ramadan has started. So are you ready? So we're really enjoining our Muslim brothers and sisters in the preparation of the Ramadan period that you should continue praying for God to allow you to be able to do this in good heart and mind. And another thing is that Wisdom Television is bringing to your door Ramadan Special. It is a program where we appreciate each day during this Ramadan, and we'll take you through several lectures, several programs, and you even stand a chance to be a partaker of our amazing gifts during the Ramadan lecture, Ramadan program, and I'm very sure you will love it. So just stay tuned to this only platform because this is where you get the best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently. So this is News Review. Let's get back to News Review. And what we'll do if you're just joining us for the first time, we'll bring the news, then we'll analyze it based on our own opinion, and it gets to a segment where we'll call Hot Picks. And that is where you get to join the conversation, reason with us and drop your opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much for staying glued with us. So on Punch newspaper, we have the following headlines. Protest rock Ogun State, Abia State, Nasarawa over polls results. Tinubu about to be cleared of all allegations, Kenyamu. Why Tinubu should release Nnamdi Kanu after swearing in, Soludo. INEC resumes Abia governorship poll results collation today, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Buhari presides over Federal Executive Council meeting at Villa. Police arrest 11 miscreants with weapons in Bauchi State. The Vanguard has the following headlines. Court rejects Abba Kyari's plea to void charges against him. Peter Obi wants to treat Tinubu like IBB did to M.K.O Abiola, Onanuga. Thanks Senate. Group roots for Uzo Kalu Senate presidents to douse tension. The Daily Post has the following headlines. Presidential election, you're daydreaming to unseat Tinubu, fire shade to Atiku and Obi. Presidential poll, swearing in Tinubu as good as military regime, Dati Ahmed. 65 inmates to graduate from Now University, Vice Chancellor. EFCC arrest brothers, other suspected internet fraudsters in Benin. 2023 general election, you shouldn't have wasted 300 billion naira, Simi slams INEC. AC Milan, Napoli chase Nigerian forward or ban. Soludo promises to probe Onitsha market fire incident. Nike's third quarter profit falls. Thank you very much for staying tuned with us, and this is the next segment we all have been anticipating, and this is where you get to tell us what your opinion is like, so you get to join the conversation. I'll be starting with this first story that says Soludo promises to probe Onitsha market fire incident. If you should recall that there was a fire incident that raised the part of Onitsha market earlier this week, and the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has said the Tuesday fire incident that occurred at the Onitsha main market would be investigated with view to preventing future occurrences. Soludo, while commiserating with the traders, expressed sadness over early morning fire that razed a two-story building within the market and also destroyed some shops, leading to the loss of multi-million naira worth of goods. So the governor also gave assurance in the statement by his press secretary, Christian Aburime, on Wednesday, and the statement reads that he has commiserated with the Onitsha market people and he is looking forward to averting such occurrence in the near future. And we also pray with those people that have been a victim in this situation, that God will continue to comfort them and maybe restore them. Like Yoruba will say that Ili Obatojo Ewa Lobusi. And I think the government should actually look into getting some things done.
Exactly.
The same way I'm sorry to cut you in, the same way we have it in Lagos, where some markets
to continue moving and it shouldn't disrupt any form of activity.
And I even think that's a way to compensate them, because you actually rightly said in your words, I mean Soludo himself, that it has raised over multi-million naira worth of goods. So the only thing you can do for such people is not like just telling them, I beg, give us money, let us find something to do. Presidential election, you must be presidential election, you're daydreaming to unseat Tinubu, Fayose to Atiku and Obi. Fayose, who is the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, he has said that anyone who believes that they can unseat President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is daydreaming. According to him, he said that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his counterparts of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, have headed to court to challenge Tinubu's victory. And he actually said that the election is already done and dusted, adding that the aggrieved are putting themselves in a nightmare. So for anyone to feel that they can actually get Tinubu to, get out of the seat, then it's just like a dream that would not even happen. And I feel what he's saying here, I feel he's not supposed to put it that way, one. And number two, he's trying to make it look as if, okay, these people actually are seeing that this thing is not right. They feel that the mandate was stolen from them, and that's the reason they are going to court. So you trying to discourage them that even if you go to court, there's nothing that will happen. Even if it is the obvious truth, don't bring it to their face. And we believe that they can actually get to the court, and the law court will say that no, Tinubu is not the rightful owner of the seat. Let us have maybe Showore or Madam Chichi or someone else to be on the seat. So let us give room for the court to decide. Not you trying to tell. No, he's trying to. This kind of thing can actually be interpreted connotatively as a threat. So you better just go and sit down. Don't go to court. You going to court is just like disturbing yourself, and they may actually feel disappointed. So that is why I felt like what Fayose is saying is not supposed to say. He also said something that is very right, for the fact that you all should understand that the election is done and dusted. Why don't we just forget about it and move on, and maybe fasten your seatbelt for 2027? To see that maybe you can also get to the seats. But him saying that it's a nightmare, it's not a nightmare. The court can say that it's Peter Obi that won, or
he's not even in the right position to tell anybody that they have no right to question the results and all of those things. And if actually there are no skeptical things to the results, nobody would even want to question.
Please, sorry, before you go in, I want you to remember that Ayo Fayose is of PDP. Okay, so because
I get it, I get it. And the thing is, see, if you remember when Tinubu was campaigning, he was saying a lot of things. I don't want to delve into it, but those things were giving us this vibe of, is this man already sure of his victory, of him winning? And after he got into, he has not even been seated in office yet. He's still the president-elect, and they can still collect the certificate of return. He has not yet been sworn in, so anything can still happen. So nobody has the right to tell anybody that you should not go to court. At least, is going to court no better than fighting people? Is it not better than causing havoc in the state, in the country? So I feel like if anybody is unsettled, if anybody is not cool with a particular result, the best thing is just to go to court. And whatever, after the court cases, whatever the court says, whatever the judiciary gives as a verdict, then if anybody wants to, argue again, then we'll know that this person has a problem. But let them go to court first. Before you start saying, nobody, if you want to unseat Tinubu, it's a nightmare and all of those things. And Fayose, PDP, see this when we
obviously Fayose was not in support of Atiku, so if it is coming from him,
that's true though. That's true though.
These politicians can actually be very tricky, and you can't just say this is the person I want to follow. The next day you just be the person you were following, you be like, It's the
way they just make their supporters look like fools.
Exactly.
Because a stern supporter of Atiku, somebody that used to support Atiku is now suddenly supporting Tinubu. Then his followers will be like, Akilo Shele, you know, it's just like that.
Exactly. And just the same way Mufi rightly said that it is better when you feel you're not cool with the result, just seek redress at the law court instead of some people that are protesting in Ogun State. I don't know. They're actually claiming their mandate. I'm like, pray that God will give it to them. Presidential poll swearing in Tinubu as good as military regime, and this is coming from Dati Ahmed. Dati Ahmed, who was the candidate of is still the candidates of the Labour Party,
the vice presidential
candidate of Labour Party, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, has insisted that the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot be sworn in as the president of the country. Speaking earlier today, he actually said that swearing him in is just as good as swearing in a new military regime. He said that the point of which Tinubu emerged was not constitutional because there has been a breach in the constitution during the whole pronouncement of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect. He claimed that the certificate of return issued to the former Lagos governor of the Independent National Electoral Commission has no value. And he said we cannot have a president-elect when there has been a constitutional breach. And there is a clearer interpretation of Section 134 and INEC's interpretation of Section 134. Ashwaji Tinubu is no president-elect. What he holds is a dud certificate and has no value. So swearing him in is an assault and just a rebuilding of a military regime. Him saying is a building of a military regime, I just want to explain it in a clear term, that is just more or less like bringing someone on us.
Like an interim government.
Like an interim government. You know, military regime will not ask you that, do you want Ayomiko or you want Fi? They just come and say, okay, from today, now you go, they govern you. If you like, you take it. If you like, don't take it. So that's what he was trying to point out. But I don't want to accept his claims because obviously Nigerians went out to the polls to vote. Whether you like it or not, or whether you feel like it's not what you expected that you got, there were still some percentage of Nigerians that duly voted in this person. It might just be like it's more than they voted you. So his own might actually be more than your own, or you feel your own is supposed to be more than his own. And another thing is that you saying that you have a clearer version of the Section 134 than it was quoted by the INEC. Saying that, are you trying to insinuate that the INEC has given us a fake constitutional paraphrase? And another thing here is that Yusuf Baba Ahmed and his cohort have progressed to the law court to seek redress rather. So I feel they don't need to be coming up with all kind of inciting comments. For the fact that a lot of people would not even read the story to the end. The only thing they would just see is Obi Baba Dati Ahmed has said that Obi and Baba Dati Ahmed, that's what I want to say, has said that Tinubu is a military regime. That's what people go about saying. They will not be able to read through and say that, okay, he actually felt there was a constitutional breach in the declaration of this person. That's why it felt like it's more or less like a military regime. So I think we should be expatiating on our claims whenever I want to make it on air.
Now I'm going to see this from different perspectives. First off, from your own perspective, where you were talking about the interim government and all of those things. I feel like the only reason he would say that kind of thing is because of the fact that a lot of people are saying Tinubu is on their mandate. And before the election, towards the election, we were hearing of some cabals in Aso Rock trying to give us a form of interim governance. So if we want to link these two together, maybe, I don't know, I am not them, Yusuf. So I'm just trying to check from different perspectives. It could be as a result of that. It was just saying, fine, you all can see it is not your mandate, it is not my mandate. So INEC actually imposed this person on us. That could be it. In another way, during Tinubu's campaign, you know, earlier I said I don't want to delve into it, but I'll just delve into it a bit now. During his campaign, we saw a lot of insight. We heard a lot of incitements from him. We heard a lot of speeches from him that if we start analyzing everything, we will not even live here today. Some of those speeches were Emilokon. Okay. And a lot of people gave meanings to the Emilokun, like whether you like it or not. Nami go do this
like
thing.
It's my turn.
It's my turn to rule. Okay. So a lot of people gave different meanings to, even though the spokesman came out to say, it's not what you guys are thinking. That's by the way. Yeah. Another thing he gave us was, if you don't vote for me, you'll be eating soaked sliced bread. That means whether you like it or not, I will emerge. And when I emerge, this is what I will give you if you don't vote for me. Those two things amongst other things. So judging with everything he has said during his campaign, and he finally emerged as the president-elect. So just know that this kind of person, I'm not saying that is what Tinubu is going to do. I am just analyzing the whole thing. So it could be that Yusuf might be feeling like, okay, judging with all of these things, what if this person now becomes the president? He's just going to give orders, whether you like it or not. Remember, he also said, if you like it or not, I will remove subsidy. Even if it means that you people will die, I will still do what I have to do. It didn't say you will die.
I get your point. I get your point, but I don't want you to puncture.
All right.
You know, when we look at this whole thing, when someone says Emilokun, I feel it's just being optimistic. Okay, fine. I also want to rule, and I feel it's my turn to rule. The same way we also claim good things to ourselves. If you see me now, I can say, it's my turn to drive the latest Mercedes Benz. It is my turn.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to explicate Tinubu's Emilokun. Okay. So it's not in any way inciting. And for the fact that he said that if you don't vote me, all of these things can just be politics. And see, let me tell you something. If Tinubu had not gotten in power, and someone else had gotten in power, if they would do something, they would still do it.
Of course.
Because he has several people. He has cabinets. He has, I won't say cabal now. He has people. He has his own structure. Yeah. So someone else can be the president, and Tinubu is still ruling. Do you know it's possible?
Of course.
Because there are several cabinets that he can work with. But my point now is that Tinubu is now the president-elect. We now have him as the president. Why can't we just accept it? You're not accepting it, go to court. Let the court bring about final judgments. And pending the time the court is trying to give us the verdict, let's accept this thing and work with him. And I feel just the way Kenyabo will always come out to say, when Tinubu makes any statement, he'll come out to say, this is not what daddy means. Daddy was trying to explain this way, but Nigerians get it this way. And not to forget about the media. When the media wants to report things,
there's a way they bring it to us.
There's a way they bring it. You know, when you just hear, he has died, he slapped her, people want to read. But at the long run, he slapped her, he has died. It's just a statement. Maybe just like, so when I was going, he slapped her, he has died. So you get my point. So we need to be very careful about how we bring out the comments and all of that. And Kenyamo even said it in his words that most times, sorry, not in words, I don't want to quote him now. Most times when Tinubu talk, he will bring it to us and tell us the meaning
of what it means.
And ever since Tinubu has assumed, fine, he has not assumed office, ever since he has been the president-elect, from the things he has been saying, from the his speeches, I've not seen any kind of gibberish or any kind of inciting comments. He only comes out to tell it to us, this is what I would do. I'm thinking of this. Okay, fine. I need to go for recuperation. Yeah. I need to do this. That's just basic things that can come out. So he has not at any point said, no.
Let me pick it up from there.
Okay.
Not to bite my words. Even if he's going to say anything like that, he's not going to say it yet because he has not been sworn in. That's by the way. Then I need to state that everything I said about Tinubu, this and that, it's not like I'm trying to state that those things are exactly the way I said them. Okay. It's just an opinion, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Apparently.
And of course, I cannot dispute and I cannot agree less to the fact that the Labour Party in general, whether it's running mates or anybody, or all of you guys that filed a suit in court, what you're supposed to do at this moment, because this is a fragile moment, is just to keep quiet, because anything you say right now
used against you at the law court.
Exactly. So at this point, I'm not pleased with this thing. Go to the court. You've gone to the court. So wait for the judge to give a verdict. So you people should just calm down. You coming out to saying Tinubu is this person, Tinubu is that person is actually not necessary. That's my submission.
Yeah, thank you very much for the submission. And another thing I want to plead on Nigerians right now, whether we like it or not, Tinubu is still the president-elect until the court says otherwise. Let's cease from calling this person a drug baron. Let's cease from calling him all sorts of names. These things are not only for Tinubu. It goes outside the country to, to portray us as Nigerians. And we are Nigerians. You don't want to get to a country and someone is telling, oh, is this person not from the drug baron country?
Exactly.
Of course you don't want that. So please, let's just accept it and stop all kind of hateful speeches about our president-elect. Thank you very much for listening to me. Election petition, I think today is just about Tinubu. Tinubu about to be cleared of all allegation, according to Keyamo. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has reacted to the petition filed by the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the Atiku of the People's Democratic Party, calling for the annulment of February 25 presidential election won by presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Obi obviously has challenged the outcome of the election previously, and he had also sought for the courts allowing them to access the beavers and all the electronic materials that were used during the February 25 election. And now on Tuesday, Obi has actually filed a suit at the election tribunal challenging the declaration of Tinubu by INEC, who is said was not duly elected by the majority of the lawful vote cast. And now, reacting to that petition, Festus Keyamo, via his post on Twitter, actually said, I am excited about the issues raised in those election petition. All the deceit and lies and disinformation and misinformation about otherwise very simple and clear issues are about to be busted by our lords. And whoever continues to argue after that should relocate to another planet. Why? And Nigerians will finally see a huge difference between calm, dispassionate adjudication of issues of the hoopla caused by garrulous spokesperson shaking and falling on stage. Hi, good. Ignorant TV hosts, turned debaters, misinformed documentaries, literate sweeps, and some dancing hijabi mamas. Festus Keyamo can be actually quite funny, when giving his point. But my own point now is that Festus Keyamo is just telling us that at the end of the whole suit and court judgment, then at the end of it, people will now know who is who. And who is lying, who is saying the truth. But I also had to go and read about the whole suit, and I saw a part that the Labour Party and Peter Obi were praying that, okay, fine, the court can annul the whole winning of Tinubu and Shettima, and also prevent them from ever contesting for post. And I was like, calm down. I get that you're aggrieved, yeah, but you need to calm down. There is no court that can ever say that somebody should not campaign or contest. You have it's part of the constitutional rights, fundamental rights of individual, the right to vote and be voted for. The exemptions are only if you're an ex-convict, if you're into any criminal practice.
In some cases, ex-convict to be
of course, Obasanjo was an ex-convict and he became president.
Exactly.
So fine, that Obasanjo's case is an exception. But fine, everybody has the right to vote and be voted for. So you can't actually pray the court to say that they should never contest. I get that you want them to annul, but it's
you're about to say shit abanja. You should just calm down.
Exactly.
And okay, I want to believe that Festus Keyamo is also being optimistic that at the end of the all court cases they will not be found guilty. Even if they are found guilty, they will still not plead guilty. That's the norm in the court. However, regardless of whatever the whole process may look like what's in courts, let us know the verdict and all of those things. Regardless of all those things, I will just implore everybody to calm down. If you don't believe in the judiciary, you don't have gone to them in the first place.
Yeah, sure.
And if you feel like judiciary is going to make us win or he's going to make us lose. Regardless of any thought you have in your head, just calm down. Let the judges, let them do their work at least. And at the end of the day, if Tinubu is the lies, the misinformation, the if they all come out to be false, then we would know. And if they are all true, we would still know. So nobody should start saying, if you fight me, I will fight you. If you slap me, I will blow you. Unnecessary.
It doesn't work that way.
Exactly. It's not worth it. Because at the end of these people, they're just deceiving us. So at the end of the day, if the court clears Tinubu, okay, you are the authentic winner of the presidential election, you'll be sworn in May 29 and all of those things. You see these people that are filing suits against him.
They would still take dinner together.
Oh my God. It could be that day they will start congratulating letter congratulatory message to the president-elect of Keko. You start seeing them congratulating one by one. At the end of the day, they will make one of them Minister of Petroleum, Minister of Igban, Minister of So don't let citizens, don't let us be deceived by these people. They are all friends. The Keyamo is this, that is that. Tinubu is it's just for the cloud. It's just for the gram. Sorry, they are all cloud chasers. So
cloud chasers.
Exactly.
Okay, I think today is just Tinubu fight. If there's anything on battle fight, we have a lot of Tinubu. Let the papa rest, yeah. But I want to take a break from Tinubu for a while and go about talking about court rejects Abba Kyari's plea to void charge against him. This is actually a story that has been stemming from last year or even the year before, because if you should remember about Hush Puppy, that's how it started. From Hush Puppy we started having Abba Kyari and other people joining the case. But before I delve into the story proper, let's go on a short commercial, after which we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Sweetheart. I can't afford to be late for this meeting.
Give me the same excuse every day.
I always tell you the truth every... You know I will never disappoint you.
Everyone needs a hero like Nokpa.
After Nokpa,
it is always Nokpa.
Nokpa for management of power.
Yeah, you're welcome back, and this is News Review brought to you by Wisdom Television. If you're just joining us, I am M.K.O, and we're doing this together. We are on the Hot Pick segment. Like I said earlier, you can actually drop your comments in the comments box. Let's have your opinion, because we can't do this alone. We are doing this with you. It's just our own opinion, and it's ours. Yours is yours. So let's share the opinion.
Exactly.
So I was talking about Abba Kyari before we had to go on the short break. So now, Federal High Court Abuja on Wednesday has dismissed the application filed by the suspended DCP Abba Kyari seeking an order dismissing the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency charge against him. Justice Emeka Nwite, in a ruling held that the court had the exclusive right and jurisdiction to hear drug-related cases as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the NDLEA Act. But reacting to that, I won't say that. Abba Kyari and his people had pressed the court to quash the criminal charge against them in fresh motion on notice filed by their lawyers on the ground that the suit was incompetent. He obviously said that the NDLEA has no right to track him to court on that count for the fact that they have not passed through the necessary places like the Police Internal Investigation Committee and other Nigerian Police Internal Committee for investigation. But the NDLEA and the court has replied to him that there are some things that does not need to pass through the police, because this is not an internal issue. It has to do with the NDLEA, and it has to do with you having some fund that you can't explain. So all of this needs to be ironed out in the court law. But my point now is that this Abba Kyari is inclined when it comes to the law. He knows everything. He has to conspire, though it's alleged, but to some extent it has been proven. He has to conspire with Hush Puppy, someone who is known to be a notorious incident fraudster. And as notorious as Hush Puppy became, he was even able to help the US to solve to carry out an operation, should I put it that way, to solve a pressing issue inside the walls of the prison. That's to tell you how vast, intelligent this guy can be. So Abba Kyari had case, relating to him and all of that, and it has been going on and on for a while. So now it's not even about Hush Puppy now. It's about his own personal case with the NDLEA, and he's trying to say that the court should dismiss it. Apparently, the court has actually said there's nothing like dismissal, and they would go on with it.
They can't, because it's so unfortunate how people will look up to. People will feel like, yes, this person is supposed to serve as a role model, as a good example.
Exactly.
They will just find them doing a lot of things that when we look into them, they are just so disgusting and embarrassing. Because this person is a
DCP, Deputy Commissioner of
Police. So are you telling me that a DCP does not know what the law entails, what he's supposed to do, what he's supposed not to do, and you are still charged with a lot of criminal cases and all of those things? In fact, finding something on you getting tainted is just enough.
Exactly.
Not to talk of, you can't explain how some funds got into your bank account, you collaborating with a notorious person, doing all sorts of things. It's just so embarrassing. And if this one gets out now, of course, people outside Nigeria, they know about it. That's why they see us as, no, Nigerians are criminals, Nigerians are bad. When it is our top officials that we find in cases like this. Exactly. It's just so sad.
Apparently, I think Nigeria needs to get better, and we need to realign our security operatives, so they can be law-abiding citizens of the country, so they will be able to extend their law-abiding norm to people of the society. Why Tinubu should release Nnamdi Kanu after swearing in Soludo? I want us to go back to recall who Nnamdi Kanu is actually known to be an agitator. But then at a point he was arrested for the fact that, for the claims of terrorism, treason to the country, among other things. And since then, he has been in captivity, should I put it that way, for a while now. So Soludo, Professor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State, has congratulated the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all other winners of the February 25 and March 18 election. And he has also said that Nigerian poll was quite successful, and he does applaud it. But now with the election over, the Anambra governor said attention should shift to addressing the nation's challenges, like the economy, insecurity, and noting that insecurity ravaging the southeast should be of concern to all. According to him, critical to addressing the problem of insecurity in the southeast is the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention for long months. He actually said the release of this man will actually be beneficial to the southeast security, because he's a reputable, according to him, he's like a top-notch person that is needed in the society, to sit around table to make some security kind of discussion, to allow the southeastern people to be able to sleep without having to open one eyes or be at alert. But I think on the grounds of which Soludo is pleading, I think is a good one. But is Nnamdi Kanu willing to turn a new leaf? Because the same thing, this is just how the same way Nnamdi Kanu started is likened to Simon Ekpa.
Yeah.
You are trying to agitate for secession, but at the point of doing that, you were overdoing it. Bringing up
he was supposed to be the one to succeed
Nnamdi Kanu, exactly. Yeah. But I don't want to get into this whole, because it's having to do with ethnicity, religion, and tribalism. And I know what we're still facing in Nigeria about that. But really, do we feel Nnamdi Kanu should be released? Releasing him, I feel that he needs to turn a new leaf, come back to realization that Nigeria is one, and let us have a one Nigeria, come together and look for the development of each state, of each region. Not about you trying to agitate for some, even if you want to agitate peacefully, without having people killed or, people manipulated.
In my own opinion now, because I need to just say his opinion. I feel like if he comes out, turning a new leaf is not something he would want to do. Judging with why is he in captivity? Because of the whole agitation. So do you expect me to just put away everything I have suffered for just like that? Now I feel like what should happen, even before we can start thinking of releasing him or not, but Tinubu releasing him or not, is let Nigeria work.
Okay.
I keep saying this thing, when Nigeria works, when everybody feels like there is no even point trying to go for secession, there's no point trying to split. Why are we trying to split? Because of all these ethnicity, the religious problems, the tribalism. If everybody can live as one, which is most likely not possible, yeah? But if everybody can live as one in Nigeria, if we can make peace reign, if the government can start by providing basic amenities to citizens, at least people will not have to go and steal, people will not have to dupe other people just for them to survive. If every Nigerian can survive on their own, and we have good roads, just basic things. If basic things are in place for us, in fact, that kind of thing. So if Nigeria can work, and if he is released at that point, even if he wants to say, no, the people out will be like, daddy and she we are already enjoying. All these things are not necessary. So the thing anybody, the president-elect, should do right now is just to look into the development of the country. I'm not saying Nnamdi Kanu should be released or not. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like we should address things that are more pressing, which is the development of the country. If the country works, every other thing would actually fall in place.
So the way you are saying that we should address the things that are more pressing, that means Nnamdi Kanu will still be there until we reform
Nnamdi Kanu is pressing. I'm not saying because that's when they will say he does not like Igbos. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's case is a pressing case. The development of the country is also a pressing one. If Nnamdi Kanu gets out, what is he looking for? For the development of the country. So if there is somebody, at least there's somebody out that can do it, let the person focus on it and do it. If Nigeria works, every other person will feel free to. I can go to the north, to the east without fear of being kidnapped or anything happening to me. So the major thing I feel like should happen right now is just for Nigeria to work.
Exactly, for Nigeria to work, and Nigeria will sure work. I believe, I'm optimistic. Peter Obi wants to treat Tinubu like IBB did to M.K.O Abiola, and this is coming from Onanuga. Everything is just coming from Tinubu.
If it's not Tinubu, first of all.
Onanuga, a media aide to the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has claimed that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is trying to treat Tinubu just as the retired military head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, did to M.K.O Abiola, whose presidential election victory got annulled 30 years ago. Onanuga made this via his Twitter handle, where he said that Peter Obi of Labour Party seeks the annulment of the election of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like the military annulled M.K.O Abiola's election of June 12, 1993. And if you should remember that June 12, 1993 is still what we celebrate till date. And he also said that Tinubu and his supporters are ready to defend his election victory, adding that the team Tinubu will certainly meet you, Obi, in court. And the Labour Party and his presidential flag bearer are praying for the tribunal to enforce that Tinubu was not duly elected by the majority of the votes cast during the election, and they want an order demanding that INEC retrieves the certificate of return issued to Tinubu and issue a fresh one to Peter Obi. That is what they are praying the law court. So what Bayo Onanuga is saying is just like, in the history of Nigeria, when we talk of annulments of presidential candidates, a vote that has already been declared annulment, we can only liken it to what happened in 1993 with M.K.O Abiola. But this one is not as hard as that, like this is a civilian rule.
Yeah.
It is not a military regime. So even if anybody will do that, it will not be the person doing it single-handedly. It will have to be with going to the law court, and the court is giving a verdict as to this is the person that we want for the post. And we'll not say, okay, INEC, this is the person that has won, collect it from this person, give it to this person. And not that Obi is intentionally wanted to do that. I'm sorry to cut you in. I've seen several posts where Obi supporters on Twitter have been saying that Peter Obi has never lost in any court. They gave instances of the Supreme Court that he has been in Supreme Court for 3 times and he has won 3 times. They gave instances of Appeal Court. He's been there 3 times and he has won 3 times. So they actually said, I'm talking from the point of the 12 on Twitter, they actually said that if Tinubu and his cohorts are not careful, Peter Obi would win in the law court. Yeah. So should we say that Onanuga is quite scared, or just trying to let people know that if anything should happen to us at the law court, then you should just know that Peter Obi is just trying to follow the footsteps of IBB, Ibrahim Babangida.
As similar as they are trying to liken the 2 situations, I am finding no similarities. Because according to history, now let me quote. According to history, the National Electoral Commission then. The election results showed that Abiola won. The election results showed that Abiola won. He defeated Bashir Tofa, but they did not declare, they did not announce that it was Abiola that won. And
even the Abiola case, a lot of people loved it.
In fact,
a lot of people were the
results actually showed that Abiola will win, not Tofa, but they did not declare Abiola as the winner. In this case, the result has shown that Tinubu won, and they've declared Tinubu,
and they've even given him certificate.
So that's just a cancellation of the similarity. And you trying to say, he wants to see, we are in a civilian governance, and I feel like what happened then with the Abiola, the Babangida, if it should repeat itself this time we are in Ogumashele.
So for the fact that we are even the Sorosuke generation.
Ogumashele. And Bayo, should we say Bayo is scared? I don't think Bayo is scared. I mean, you are the one saying they are being optimistic, they are this, they are that.
So if we start us that is optimistic, Bayo can actually be scared.
I'm not going to say more than let everybody calm down. Let everybody chill. At least I feel like at this point, court will give us the right thing. And if they now decide that, see, whatever the court is giving to us, whatever verdict the court is giving to us, of course we will believe that that is the right thing. Because somebody like me now, what temerity do I have to question the court of law? So whatever the court gives, we would all accept it. So pending the time the court will give a verdict, everybody should calm down. Bayo, don't be scared. Shebi is Obi. Don't be scared. Shebi is APC. All of you shall calm down.
There's something Yoruba to say that Mombo wa Olorun ko ya lodgun. I don't know if I'm right. I start to be corrected. You know, when we look at this whole thing, the court is not a place that you go to. It's not something that will happen like that. This whole court case, it can start from 2023 and end 2027. So by 2027, the court will now say, oh, sorry, it is Showore that one. You know, it is possible. My point is just that. This whole court verdict can, they can drag it, but let's just be optimistic. Festus Keyamo and the Tinubu people, don't worry, you will win. Obi and others, don't worry, you will win. Atiku, all of you, you will win. I think we've done justice to that.
You will win, because I can't even start saying this person should calm down for this person. All of you should calm down for yourselves.
Okay,
let peace reign.
I actually have this comment from Bello Abdegani. I want to believe I'm pronouncing that well. Bello Abdegani. He actually said that he doesn't have what it takes to do that. He doesn't have what it takes to do that. It's small. Let him start from where Tinubu stopped. He will know quite all right that issue not a child play. Who is this person referring to?
Peter Obi now.
Peter Obi should chillax. And wait until Tinubu is done, then he should now do his own.
You know, you're about to say Ajanoku, Osheromode.
Okay. So, Mr. Bello, what you're saying is that Peter Obi should relax and let Tinubu should do it first. He should watch. Then afterwards, Peter Obi will start. Thank you. Adura Oluwagbemi, Oluwafeyi, I don't know. He actually said welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. And to every other person that has joined us today on News Review, we'll say a very big thank you. We do appreciate you because we are here because of you. And you are also making it know that you are with us by sharing your opinion. And like I said from the beginning of the show, if you're just joining us, for our Muslim brothers and sisters, we're wishing you a prosperous Ramadan ahead. And just as we're preparing for Ramadan to come, I'm praying that God will give every one of us a good health and earth, to be able to observe this obligatory practice in the Muslim doctrine. And another thing is that this platform, Wisdom Yard Television, will be bringing to you what we call Ramadan Special. And this is where we tend to lecture ourselves. We tend to learn about the values of what the Prophet has taught us in the Quran, as well as the several things that you need to know as a Muslim and Muslim faithful. And also you are standing a chance to win some gifts. You know, that will be during the Ramadan period. You will win a lot of gifts. Don't let me give you the gist, because you will also be quite eager to just get it. We have a lot of things.
You said you will not tell them. Why you saying?
Oh yeah, sorry. But you must make sure that you are joining us on our Ramadan special, because it is indeed special. You can't get it on any platform. It's only Wisdom Yard. Or is there any platform that can do that?
Nibo. It's only here.
So I and Mofi Folua will do this together from Monday to Friday. If you're just joining us, so you should join us tomorrow too, okay? Yeah. So also tomorrow that we'll be doing the amazing talks. Do have an amazing time and be good.